A court hearing tonight in Portland, Oregon. Oregon officials are asking to block the president from ordering state National Guard troops into the streets of the city, or, as the president put it in his announcement on Saturday, war-ravaged Portland. He also said he was directing Defense Secretary Hexet to, quote, provide all necessary troops to protect war-ravaged Portland and any of our ICE facilities under siege from attacks by Antifa and other domestic terrorists. Then he added, I am also authorizing full force if necessary. Now, it is true that Portland's ICE facility has seen small-scale protests outside almost nightly these days. There have been some acts of violence and vandalism. According to one local news outlet, about 100 people showed up on Saturday, somewhat more than normal, and that neighbors are fed up with the noise, the tear gas, and the pepper balls. The city also has well-known problems with homelessness and addiction. As for the president's grim description, though, people are now posting under the hashtag war-ravaged Portland images of what they say the rest of the city looked like on this sunny September weekend. And war-ravaged it isn't. The president, however, has a lot to say lately about the Rose City, as well as 5 years ago during the far more extensive Black Lives Matter protests.
You see what's happening in Portland. This is like nobody's ever seen anything like it every night. And this has gone on for years. They just burned the place down. These are professional agitators. Right. These are bad people. You go out to Portland, people die out there. Many people have died over the years in Portland. Portland is, I don't know how anybody lives there. It's amazing. But it's anarchy out there, and that's what they want. I watched Portland, Oregon last night burning to the ground, just burning with people. And these are agitators, and we're going to stop them. We're going to stop it all. We could solve Portland in about, I'd say, 22 minutes. Okay. They're anarchists. They're Antifa, they're radical left. But they're wise guys. We could solve that in 2 minutes. When you look at a Portland, I want them to let us in. These are anarchists. They're agitators. And either they do something or we're going to do it. Either they're going to clean up Portland soon or the federal government is going up and we're going to do it for them.
Also today, in the wake of protests over the weekend in Chicago, Illinois Governor J.B. Pritzker announced that the Trump administration is preparing to deploy 100 troops to the city over his opposition. The president is also sending federal authorities to Memphis starting sometime this week. That's according to Tennessee Governor Bill Lee. Now, as for Portland, Judge Simon did not issue a ruling tonight, scheduling another hearing for Friday morning. And with us now is Oregon Attorney General Dan Rayfield. Mr. Attorney General, thanks so much for being with us. Can you just lay out the legal grounds for your state's lawsuit and why you're fighting this deployment?
Well, the legal grounds for the lawsuit are really based in common sense, right? We've lived all of our lives. We've gone through our communities. And the one thing that we haven't seen is the United States military in our cities. There's a reason for that, right? They're not trained for law enforcement purposes. Great people, that's not their role. And we have a law that the president has to meet certain very extreme requirements if you want to federalize the National Guard in our communities and really go against who we are as Americans, where you would see the United States military. So think about it, right? It's pretty common sense. If there's an invasion, of course, you might be able to federalize the National Guard. If there's a rebellion, absolutely, you might be able to federalize the National Guard. If the president isn't able to effectuate the laws of the United States, then you could do that. Well, here in Oregon, none of those conditions, absolutely none of them have been met. And that's really the crux of the lawsuit that's before the court right now.
Why is this different than the situation in California?
What you could see is the facts here in Oregon are very clear. If you walk the streets, you have the Portland Police, you have the Multnomah County Sheriff's Office, you have the Oregon State Police, you have a functional district attorney's office, a good district attorney that is keeping the community safe. And what you would see if you read our pleadings, one of the most stark things is that Portland Police will tell you it is more lively to police Portland's nightlife scene than it is outside the ICE facility here in Portland. So what you have is a president that's basing his factual assertions off of social media gossip. In fact, one of the times he even used a 2020 video, not even current video, to make informed decisions about what's going on in Portland. So he's just flat out wrong and is unwilling to listen.
Why did you file this suit ahead of the actual deployment? And when do you think that those troops will actually show up?
Well, this is one of those things right now in our society. You have a president that is pushing against freedom of speech, that is pushing against having an independent judiciary, that is openly talking about our elections and how we need to rig them. And you have right now this normalization of the United States military in our cities, from California to Memphis to Washington, D.C. He's talking about Illinois, and it's coming in Oregon. And so we wanted to draw a very distinct line in the sand that this is not okay. This is un-American in the way that you're doing it. And we're going to fight like hell to make sure that you follow the laws in our country, because this is absolutely unacceptable. That's why we did it so quickly.
Well, we will see what the judge ends up ruling. Oregon Attorney General Dan Rayfield, we appreciate your time tonight. Thank you very much.